Hey you guys, good morning. So I was gonna start our Mindset Monday yesterday. However, I had to get ready to go because we have Silver Summit. And so I want to do this training with you. I think that it's so important because as we hone in our skills with our business, there is so much more that goes with just talking to people and having conversations and like posting and all of that. There's so much more to the success of your business and your life and you achieving your dreams than just those things. So as you guys are hopping on, say hey, tag your team, make sure you share this into our chats. I think that this is going to be something that is going to be absolutely amazing. And as always, I'm going to give a forewarning that I might say things that you don't want to hear me say, you don't want me to say, but sometimes it's the truth. And we need to have someone be there to say these things to us so that way we can kind of shake ourselves out of the position that we're at. Okay. So one thing I want you to know about me, okay? Because there might be some of you guys who do not know me very well. I'm trying to decide what the heck to do with my hair. I'm gonna plop it in. Big messy bun. There's some of you guys who might not know me very well. And I want you guys to be able to get to know me because I think that when you know that there's other people who've been through hard things as well, sometimes then it allows us to kind of let them in. So I want you guys to know that when I was growing up, I was abused as a kid and my mom was a single mom. It was not by her. And we had a very, very hard life. She had me when she was 18 and we struggled so bad, you guys. I cannot even explain it to you. And I don't know if it was pride or if it was just because things were not accessible or available to us at that period of time. But when we were struggling financially, we did not have any sort of like assistance. So when we did not have food in the house, we did not have like food stamps or anything like that. We just went without. And so that is what I did. I went without for a very long time, a giant majority of my life. And I went by seeing other people having the things that I did not have. And I'm talking normal things. I'm talking like food. I'm talking like, a parent that like when they get in their car, they're like, car starts and the heat works because my mom didn't have heat and she didn't have air conditioning in her car. I'm talking like going into someone's house and them having a television to be able to watch TV on. I just went without the very normal things. And when I saw all of my friends having these things, it started to make me think to myself, like, what is wrong with me? Why don't I have these things? Why am I going without? And there was kind of this pattern in my life where I just felt like everyone else had this magical something that I did not have and that I was in some way, shape, or form being punished by not having that. I was like, why don't I have those things? Like, I can't go on trips. I can't go on field trips. When our class in middle school took trips to the Capitol and to like the capital of the United States or whatever, like I didn't get to go because we didn't have money. I didn't get to play sports because we didn't have money. Everything was always, Jade didn't get to do this because we didn't have money. And it just ate me away. And you get into this mindset where you have to do what you have to do because it's what you have to do and you just have to deal with it. But it made me question my self-worth all the time and made me wonder if I am not good enough. Now, I have done a lot of studying when it comes to emotions and our subconscious mind, and every single one of our fears can be stemmed back to the fear of not being good enough and not being worthy. Now, where these fears, these two very specific fears come into play is because of things that have happened in our life. Things that have happened in our life that have shown us over and over and over and over that we are not worthy and that we are not good enough. Now, no one came down. There wasn't a fairy who took a wand and was like, boop, you're not good enough. That's why you don't have a home phone. It's because you're not good enough. You're not worthy. That is why you have no food to eat. No one said that. But our subconscious mind comes into play and our brain tries to look for a face in the name for the reason why we do not have what it is that we're supposed to have. Because if we can put a reason behind it, if we can put a face and a name to the reason why we don't have these things, okay? And how many of you guys sitting here, my husband keeps calling. I have to tell him to stop calling. This is live. Hold on. I gotta text him to tell him to stop calling me. Hold on, guys. Okay. So, how many of you guys sitting here thinking about this? How many of you guys are starting to realize that this fear that you have in the back of your brain around your business, how many of you guys need this really bad? You're like, I need this. I can't explain to you how many of you have situations. You guys, the number of special needs children, we have so many special needs parents here. It just, my nephew is special needs. He has Charge syndrome. He can't speak. He's also autistic. Like there's a need there, right? There's a heart tugging need there to want to be able to not struggle. And when you go through those hard things, it just makes you think and believe over and over and over and over and over, where we start to put ourselves in a position where we start to ask ourselves, why me? When we get to the place where we start to ask ourselves, why is this happening? Why me? What did I do wrong? It grows the belief that we are not good enough and that we are not worthy. And that is what happened. That's what happens to all of us. This is just human nature. This is our subconscious mind. This is just what we do. Okay? And so what I want you guys to do, and I want you guys to do this so seriously, is that you have to, I don't know another way of saying it, but this is the way that I always explained it. When I grew up without a lot of things and I grew up struggling, and my mom did make decisions when I was growing up where I felt like she was constantly choosing something else or someone else over me. And it puts you into a position where you are kind of this, like, by default independent, and you actually start to push people away, and you start to push good things and good people away out of your life because you are like, they're going to disappoint me. I'm not worthy of this anyways. Like, I am not meant to have these relationships. I'm not meant to have these friendships. I'm not meant to have success. I'm not meant to have people believe in me. I'm just not. So even when it does start to come, we start to push it away because our ultimate belief in our brain is that we're not supposed to have it anyways. Think about this for a second. How many of you guys are like, holy shit? Okay, so this is what you need to do. And I want you guys to make a promise to yourself that starting today, you are going to do this. We have to unsuck ourselves. We have to unsuck ourselves. I had this moment where I sat down. I had this aha moment, and I had it from watching The Secret. I don't care what you guys watch or see, that it makes you snap out of it and start to realize that there's something inside of you that you have to work on. But what I started to realize was that my life like sucked. Like, there were so many things going on. There were things that I was not control of that sucked. My feelings were hurt by just things that were happening in my life that were terrible. My husband and I are fighting all the time. We don't have freaking money. When you don't have money, it just weighs on you in every single shape and form out of your whole entire life. When you don't have money, you can't eat. You can't pay your bills. When you don't have money, you can't do anything. So that just confirms even more there that you're not enough and that you're not worthy and that you feel like crap all the time. And then you start to believe that this is just how you're supposed to feel. And so you just soak that in. We are sponges, and we soak in whatever our beliefs are. But we have to unsuck ourselves, because here's the deal, you guys. In our life, the moments, the very first moments, our subconscious brain is being formed from the time that we're born until we were 7 years old. So maybe some of you guys had a super great life, but I had a hell of a lot of crazy stuff happen between when I was born and 7 years old. And so when I learned that my subconscious programming taught me who I was, the kind of person I was, the things that I deserved in that time frame, it started to make sense why from that moment, anytime something that wasn't maybe in my favor, maybe even things that weren't necessarily like bad or good, they just like were, I immediately took it as, of course this isn't happening for me. Of course this is happening to me. It's because I'm not worthy. Like, of course. How many of you guys are like, yep, of course this would happen to me. Of course my car would break down. Of course. We have to unsuck ourselves. We have to unsuck ourselves. That sucks. And that doesn't mean that it was necessarily our fault. But what is our fault is the decisions that we make for ourselves from the time that we are 18 on. The things we think, the things we do, how we talk about ourselves, the decisions that we make for ourselves. As soon as we are adults, we are responsible from that moment on. So yes, I've had a hard life. I've gone through crazy things. I've had things happen that I definitely wish that would have never happened. But number one, the only way that it's a waste of a life or a waste of years or a waste of time is if I look back at those things and I just say, poor me, why do all these things happen to me? Instead, what I've learned to do is say, that was terrible. But what is something good that I can take out of this? What is the lesson to be learned? How can I help another person? What can I learn to do again? What can I learn what not to do again? That is how you do not waste hard things. There's a saying that says, rough seas makes for a skilled sailor. I want you to imagine that you're sailing from Europe to the United States, or from the United States to Europe, and you hop in your boat and you get in and it's just smooth sailing. Okay. And you arrive in Europe and you go meet King Charles. All these logistics. I should have thought about this before I said it. And you're meeting him and there's a bunch of other sailors and there's a storm coming, because a storm always comes. A storm is always going to come. It is completely naive to think that everything is going to be perfect and amazing every single day forever for the rest of our lives, no matter what our mindset is. So the storm's going to come. King Charles says, I need my most skilled sailors. I need them. If you just crossed the whole entire ocean and it was just like perfect and great the whole entire time, what did you like? There wasn't anything for you to learn. However, if you go through the muck and the yuck and the storms and the hurricanes and the tornadoes and the fire-breathing dragons and all of the things, and you don't give up and you don't turn back, and you power through those, and you make it through those, and you survive through those, you have now come out with a set of skills that so many other people do not have. And the reason why they don't have it is because when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, and they stop and they give up. And you guys are here because you have not given up. And you guys are here because you're fighters. And I truly believe that the reason why you are here is because you're destined to be successful. You are destined to have the success that you want into your life. That is why you are here to begin with. So you don't need to look for signs or validation that you can do this and that you can be successful, because here's the problem. Right now, you are attracting into your life through quantum physics. This is like a real thing. Because everybody has different spiritual beliefs, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about the law of attraction and manifestation. I probably will, but I want you to think of it in this sense. We all have like energy. It's like a real thing. Like your body produces photons. Here's some quantum physics science here. Our body holds photons, and literally when we're excited, we give off a certain photon, a color of photon. It's like a real scientific thing that's measurable, okay? When you're sad, you give off a certain photon. You literally give off like a certain energy. And so when we are programmed through life up until this point, when you started this business, that's poor me. Of course, this is happening to me. Of course, no one likes me. Of course, bad things are going to happen. Of course, my car's not going to start. Of course, this bill's going to happen. Of course, my roof's going to cave in. Of course, my tire's going to go flat. That is the energy that we are giving out into the world every single day. And so you think that this is happening to you and then you're just like, oh, okay. But what you're not realizing is that the moment that you say, of course, it's like a boomerang. You're throwing it out there in front of you and it's just going to come right back. And this is how we have this vicious cycle. Have you guys ever seen like water droplets drop in the water? Like when you drop water in like your bathtub or in a pool and then it ripples out and it hits something else and then it comes back. That's how this life is. That's how our energy is. That's how everything is. That just so you know, that's how everything is. So if you're asking me if I'm telling you that like sometimes the reason why some of the things that happen to us, it's our fault. Sometimes, like kind of, yeah. I mean, I definitely didn't sit here and say, God, I wish my daughter gets a blood clot in her brain. Yes, I never said that. I never wanted that. I don't know why that transpired, but what I can tell you is that it did not defeat me. It did not defeat me. And every single day, I sat here and said, what can I be grateful for? I honed in my gratitude. I learned so much peace. I had to find so much peace in that moment or else I would have sank. And I have other kids and I have a family. I can't sink. I have to swim, right? So what I want you guys to do is we have to unsuck ourselves. We have to stop the cycle of when something happens. The thing that we have to stop is the of course. The thing that we have to stop is our reaction to the thing. When we cut that off, because the thing that's happening to us, that is not the ripple in the water. The ripple in the water is the reaction that we have and the energy that we give off after those things happen. So how does this pertain to this business? If you want to have success, and success is just a stupid word, because if you want to have the things that are on your dream board, if you want to have the reason why you're here, why are you here? Because you want to pay off your bills, because you're like working your butt off and you have 12 kids and live in a shoe, because you have credit card debt, because things are crazy, because you have medical needs, like you have serious wants and needs and you need this so freaking bad. You want to be a stay-at-home mom more than you can think. You want to be able to you just want to be the first in your family. You just feel it in your soul that you're going to be able to do big, incredible things. If you want the life to shift from the, of course, the bad things are happening to me into the, no, this is getting good. I want you guys to understand that the people that you see having success or like, oh, they're enrolling so many people or they're promoting or, oh, look at all these great things happening to them. Every single one of those people has BS that's happening to them all the time. The difference is what they do after that stuff happens that controls that ripple effect that comes right back to them. We have to unsuck ourselves and we have to break that cycle. And it's not easy, because the longer that you've been in that cycle, the harder it is to break, because it's all muscle memory and it is all habit. Being crabby and negative, all of that, it's just habitual, unfortunately. And so what do you have to do? You've got to have discipline. You need to have Hercules strength, discipline. You have to hold yourself accountable. Unfortunately, even if you have an accountability partner, the problem with accountability partners and why I've never liked them is because people start to use them as a crutch. We start to do things with our accountability partners that abuses that accountability. Because when someone knows us so well, right, and they start to know our inner workings and our, like our secrets in our life, when things get really, really hard, a lot of the times they can become empathetic and they don't hold you accountable. So the only person that can hold you accountable in a time where you're trying to break the habit to change that ripple effect, it has to be you. It has to be you. No one else. It has to be you. We have to unsuck ourselves. So let's talk about how we do it. It's actually very simple. It's the reverse of what you're already doing, but also the same, okay? Number 1, what are you reading? What are you listening to? First thing, rule of unsucking yourself is to start putting different things in your gates. You have your eye gates and your ear gates. You need to start putting different things into your brain. My favorite upon favorite upon favorite that has changed my life is Les Brown. He is amazing. If you guys, I'll share it. Les Brown, Hungry. It's the speech. I listened to it 10 years ago and it pushed me through. It kept me going when I didn't have an upline, when my life was hard, when we didn't have Wi-Fi, when I was making homemade laundry soap and washing my sheets in the bathtub and trying to figure out how am I supposed to be doing this? I'm living like a pilgrim and then I'm turning around and talking about my business. I listened to that and only that. I did not discuss my business. I did not discuss my dreams with anybody who was not going to positively affirm to me that I can do it. And if that took someone else or a book or Les Brown or my upline or a friend to be the only person that was going to encourage me and tell me that they believed in me, then that's what I was going to stick to. I've said this and it was so funny because there's actually an anti-MLM person who made fun of me for saying this, but she knows that it's true, you guys. We all know who to go to that are going to give us certain reactions. I know that if I call my mom and I complain about my husband, my mom's probably going to be like, F him and what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like she's going to just have my back, right? If I want to go to, if I'm having like a really hard time, I can go to Saray and Saray's going to say, she's going to say, okay, like what's going on? But like, okay, so like, let's get through that, right? If I, you know what I'm saying? Like I know who to go to and I know exactly what their reactions are going to be because I know their personalities. My grandma, when I was going to cosmetology school and I was working all day, I drove 150 miles every single day and my Saturn SC1 that the bumper was falling off of, that the blower turned on while my car was off. It was very interesting. We couldn't figure out, it was just very interesting. And I would have a hard day at work because I had a boss that was a total asshole. He sucked so bad. He was such a jerk off. I literally hated my life there so much. Every single day, I left that job crying. And I used to say FML, fuck my life. God, fuck my life. Like I did of course he's being a douche today. Of course this is happening. Of course this would go on. Of course this person wouldn't tip me. And guess what? Every single day, it just confirmed to me over and over and over, bam, I would just put that energy right then and there. You best believe that that's what I would get back. And so I would leave work crying and defeated. I would go vent to my grandma. I would just puke out all of my fears and my stresses because I knew that she would feel sorry for me. Out of everybody, she would feel sorry for me. I would go to her house after school or after work to go change to go to school because then I would go to cosmetology school. I can't remember what the hours were. 5 to 9 or something like that. 5 to 9 sounds right. I was going part-time, so it was like forever and ever and ever. I didn't get home till like 10:30. And I would go to her house and I would walk in the door and she would have a can of pop for me and my favorite toast, all this unhealthy crap food to make me feel better, to eat my feelings. So you guys tell me who I learned bad eating habits from. And she would just say, listen, if you don't want to go today, that's okay. You don't have to go to school. I understand. I get it. You don't have to go. And she would baby me. And I've always used the analogy that if I know exactly who to call that's going to pat me on the back and tell me it's okay for feeling sorry for myself. Now listen, you guys, I want to tell you one thing. I'm not telling you, like, it has nothing to do with not feeling sorry for yourself. If you feel sad, you need to feel your feelings. I'm not telling you cannot feel, because feeling your emotions is the number one most important thing that you guys need to do, that we all need to do, because here's the deal. The more you push off your emotions, your sadness, your pain, and your hurt, the more that it gets bottled up inside, and it actually ends up really messing with us. What? Do you want some cereal? Okay. Please don't do that. Please don't do that so you don't fall, okay? The more that you don't feel your feelings, the more you bottle them up and actually you hold on to them longer. And if you would just let yourself have a good cry and just get it out, you actually will just release all of those emotions, all of that energy that you needed to release. And you'll actually be able to move on and start processing things. I just want to tell you guys that, okay? But I know exactly who to go to that's going to allow me to feel sorry for myself. But here's the thing, you guys. When we are in that moment where we're in our feels and we're just, there's a difference between feeling sadness and pain and like frustration and connecting the dots and getting ourselves in the position where you guys know what I'm talking about. And I can't think of another word for it right now. But when you're in that place where you're feeling so sorry for yourself, you give yourself permission to just not today. I just won't today. I'm just going to put everything down. I'm going to go watch TV. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to just not because I just don't feel like it right now. So I'm just going to not. And we start to become that person for ourselves. That is the complete opposite of accountability. And we start to just, do you know what I'm saying? And that's not a comfort thing. That is not a comfort thing. And that is not a good thing because here's the thing. Let's say you have to mop your whole house. You have dogs. They came in. They ran outside. They were so messy. They ran all over your house. And now your floors are just completely covered in mud and dirt everywhere. And it's a huge mess. And you're very, very intimidated. And you're very, very scared. And you're like, how in the hell am I going to accomplish this? This is crazy. There's so much. I've got things I got to do later. Like, I'm not good at mopping. What the hell? And so you start and you're in the back of your brain, talking yourself down, telling yourself, I'm not going to be able to do this anyways. There's no way I'm going to finish. Every single time I take my mop and I slide it over the mud, it's just pushing the mud everywhere. And you get so frustrated, you give up and you're like, whatever, I'm just going to go outside and like sit in the sun for a little bit. But the problem is, you guys, is that the muddy floors are still going to freaking be there. The floors will still be there. The problems are still going to be there. The bills are going to be there. The debt's going to be there. The thing that you are afraid of is still going to be there. So how do I teach and train myself to stop doing that? And how do I prove to myself that I can do it? Because when we look for validation, that's what we're doing. We are trying to look for proof through someone else, hoping that we can find another person that believes in us enough that that's going to be the thing that keeps us going. But this is my question for you. I believe in you. I think that you are absolutely more powerful and more capable of being successful in this business than you could ever believe. I could sit down and I could tell you guys exactly how all of this is going to play out, that when you post how you're supposed to, you keep following up. When you make those TikToks and you make those reels, in a 2-month, in a 60-day, I lost my coffee, in a 60-day span of time, you will start to see a huge ripple effect of results. That if you put your head down and you just, I think I can, you will see results. Well, if I believe in you and you're sitting here telling me that the thing that you need the most is just someone else to believe in you so that way you'll believe in yourself, how come I'm over here believing in you and you still don't believe in yourself? Because it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And it has nothing to do with anybody else. It has to do with the belief in yourself. So how do I change that? Because I don't really believe, because I do believe that I'm not worthy. And that is, I'm realizing that that's just my programming. It's just not the truth. How do we do that? So, first thing I want you guys to do, you need to have a success routine. You've got to have a success routine and you need to have it now. And I do not give two shits if while you're doing this success routine, if every single day you don't believe, you're in the back of your brain, you're like, I don't believe any of this. I don't care. I want you to do it anyways. This is what I want you to do. And I promise you, with everything that I have, this will change you. Because it's not the physical things that you guys are doing. A lot of the time, it's the energetics behind it. You know, it's like posting to post. Have you guys ever, it's like watching someone dance and they're just dancing to dance. And then someone who's like really feeling it and the difference of how beautiful it is and how fun it is and how exciting it is. You guys, like the energy thing, it's real. It's so real. So first thing, you guys, is I want you to find something to listen to. Now, if you have time to read books, go read a book. Here's the problem. You want to know why I don't connect with books? Is because someone had to think those thoughts and really like overthink it and compile it together. But what I really like is I like listening to people talk in the moment because I feel like it's more powerful. I feel like the energy behind it is so raw and real. When I listen to someone read a podcast, they're just reading words off of a paper that were written like once upon a time. And when they were writing that book, they were writing those words to be written for someone to read. It's not the same as if someone's standing there on a stage and they're speaking at you do you know what I'm saying? So I want you guys to go find a person. Now, some of my favorite people, I recommend Brené Brown. Ooh, Brené will mess you up. Ooh, gosh, the amount of times that I have cried listening to Brené Brown. Okay. Les Brown. Les Brown is incredible. He's old school, guys. Like, I'm talking the videos that I watch, they're probably from the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s. But I just connect to it so much. So much. John Maxwell, incredible. And what happens is when you look these people up on YouTube, on the right-hand side or underneath, if you're doing it on your phone, you'll see suggestions. There's going to be suggestions. You've got to have someone yelling at you that you can do it. And you've got to have someone yelling at you to believe in yourselves. I can do that for you, but I can't do it all the time. I can't do it at 6 a.m. when you're in the shower. Nikki, if you fall asleep, stop laying down while you're listening. Easy. I love listening to it when I'm in the shower. I love listening to it while I clean. I love listening to it when I work out. I love listening to it when I drive. Okay? But the reason why I like to listen to it is because I'm a busy mom of 3. And some of the reasons why we don't spend time unsucking ourselves is because we get intimidated by, I don't have a lot of time, so how am I supposed to make time to do something that I feel like I'm not going to enjoy because I don't believe in what it's doing for me? Anyways. Oh, for books, yeah. I just don't like listening to weird monotone voices. That's why I can't. I want someone yelling at me, passionate, in the moment. Like, that is what I want. That's what I can feel that. You know what I'm saying? So, number 1, listen to that. Hungry is 45 minutes, but I'm telling you what? Oh man, if you are not believing in yourself, if you listen to that every single stinking day, if you recite it word for word, every 3 minutes, there will be something that will stick with you and that will change you and that will stick with you forever. I promise you. Okay. So that's number 1. You got to listen to something. You got to pour your brain with the belief that you can do it. The next thing is what you say. You guys, you need to have an affirmation routine. The way that I feel when I have it versus the way that I feel when I don't is so significantly insane. I can't even explain it to you. And I will explain to you guys, I will share with you guys some affirmation sheets. You can look them up on Pinterest. You can curate your own. Sometimes it's hard to curate our own because we're like, is this the wrong thing? Like, is this a good enough affirmation? Listen, I am bronze. I am a master recruiter. I am worthy. I'm an amazing mom. I'm an amazing wife. There is more money coming in than I can handle. I go to the people come to me. My posts speak to the right people. My reels take off. Those are affirmations. You're talking in a way that you are affirming as if things are already done. Now, I want to tell you, what if I cry when I say these things? Because that's completely opposite of my life. Then cry while you do it. But you want to know why we get emotional when we say these affirmations and when we hear someone telling us that we can do it? Because there's a pain inside. There's an ache of a little kid that has believed for so long that we're not worthy. And so that little kid's crying a little bit at the being loved so much and having that love and feeling that love that we haven't felt. You guys, you can do that for yourself. You can be that person for yourself. How many of us are walking around with mommy issues, with daddy issues? Oh my gosh, my grandma liked my brother more than me. Listen, yes, that was pain in the past, but you can show up and be the person that you needed then. You can show up as that person for yourself right now. That is a real thing. That is a real energetic thing. So what are you listening to and what are you saying? Your affirmation routine. And then I want you to guys to have a moment where you take 5 minutes, nothing crazy. If you want to journal it out, if you want to meditate it, if you want to pray it, whatever this looks like for you. This is nothing crazy. This is 5 minutes. So I'm telling you to listen to something while you're driving your kids to school. Let them listen to Kids Bop. You plug in your phone and you listen to it in your ear thingamajigger while you drive. That's what I'm telling you. While you're making school lunches, while you're doing things, listen to these things, okay? Your affirmations, have them on your phone. Pull them out, print it out, write it out, stick it on the wall in your bathroom. Voice message it to yourself every single day on Facebook Messenger. Voice message it to a friend. If you find the right person, you guys, and you voice message to them your affirmations will change them. Your affirmations will be so powerful that they will start to manifest in that person's life. And manifest just means show up. Don't overthink that. Don't overthink the word manifestation. Okay? But what we have to do is we have to cut off. We're going to cut off this. Of course, the bad things are happening. And now the last thing, you guys, that's going to be tough. But I promise you, if you give it 21 days, it takes 21 days to create a habit. And I promise you that if you can do this, it'll be 21 days of hell. It'll feel like you want to rip your eyelids right off of your face. But if you can do this, things will really start to change. And that is when bad things start to happen. When the tree branch breaks, when the tire pops, then the dishwasher breaks, when you stub your toe, when your favorite pants rip, when you lose $20, whatever it is, the rough seas, your reaction to it. That's what you got to change. Those things are not happening as confirmation that you're not good enough and that you're not worthy and of course you suck. Those things are just happening. Leaves fall all the time, and I don't sit here getting my panties in a bunch because leaves are falling. I'm not looking over here going, the leaves are falling. They're like omens, right? Like, oh, I can't go out today because there's birds in the sky. Like, there's going to be a car accident. No one, like, that's not a rule. Just because I stubbed my toe doesn't mean that I'm a piece of shit. It just means I stubbed my toe and it hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being realistic here. So when the things start to happen, when your husband's crabby, when the kids are wild, what we do is we stop, we breathe, and we just keep on moving. The real magic happens when you get yourself into, and this is when we talk about positive mindset. Now, for me, when we talk about toxic positivity, that's when life is hell and you're like, just be positive. No. When life's hell, cry. Like I said, let it out. We're not suppressing emotions. That's not what we're doing here. We're feeling our feelings, but then we pick ourselves up and we breathe. We ask ourselves, is there something I can learn from this in this moment? Not to walk there. That my kids are being crazy. Why are they crazy? Because I didn't have anything ready for them last night like I normally do. And so I was super crabby and stressed out. I went to bed too late. They went to bed too late. I'm not going to do that again because no, we're not going to have a day like this. Not today. See how you're learning from the situation and then you move. How do you pertain this to your business? That means that you set an alarm. You make your freaking post for the day. You share your life with people. You hold your breath, you take your reach out messages and you send them out to 30 people, heartfelt messages telling them, hey, I checked out your page. I think that you would be so good at what I do because of this, and this I saw on your page. I'd love to share with you what it is that we do. It means that when someone is a douche to you back, it means if someone blocks you, it means if someone doesn't reply, we're not getting our panties in a bunch. We're not letting that be confirmation that you suck. We're not letting it mean anything at all. And we keep on moving. And then I wake up tomorrow and I listen to the words from whoever it is that's encouraging me and telling me that I'm a badass, telling me that I can do it. I'm saying my affirmations of the things that I want to bring into my life. And that is the energy that I'm putting out there. I'm taking 5 minutes to journal. I'm taking 5 minutes to pray. I'm taking 5 minutes to just meditate and to just focus, to visualize the things that I want. And then I'm going to move into my day. And then tomorrow, my dishwasher might break and I might forget to pack my daughter's there's lunch, and maybe I'll be having a coaching call with one of you guys, and one of you guys will be having a terrible day, and I say something and it sets you off. And instead of me using that as confirmation that I suck, I'm going to look and I'm going to say, what can I learn from this? I cannot press that button on my dishwasher. I cannot drive that way in my car. I probably need to be more mindful of the way that I talk to people. Maybe I won't say what I said anymore. I'm going to learn from the things that did not really happen the way that I wanted them to happen, and then I'm going to keep going. And now all of a sudden what you guys are going to see and realize is that the day stops feeling so heavy, and that life stops feeling so heavy. And then you know what happens? You start getting yeses. The sun starts to shine, and you actually start to notice. Because what so many of you guys don't even realize is that there are so many incredible things happening in your life. There are so many incredible things that are right there in front of your freaking face, but you can't even see them because you are so wound up and focused in trying to find confirmation all around you that you're not going to be able to do it because that's what you believe anyways. And I promise you, you will find confirmation that you can't do it. The leaves will be falling. If that is your confirmation, you're going to find it. Your husband is going to be crabby. He's going to complain. He complained before you did this. Of course he's going to complain. Do you know what I'm saying? So instead, why do you cannot use my... Chip has my wool balls. These are probably the most natural balls that he'll ever play with. Sounds weird. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to get yourself into this routine. You've got to find discernment. When you have someone start this business, you be excited because you see what is possible for them. So when they come to you being negative or being down or being whatever, you're not reactive. You're understanding. You're like, oh, she's got a hard life. I know this. I've been there. I had to unsuck myself too. Let me share with you my routine. I want to share with you this video that just helped change me. It just changed me. I want you to listen to this. And now you start to affect other people. Every single time something good happens, every time you make a post that you're like, damn, that was a good post. Every time you go live and you're like, God, that was really good live. And you allow yourself to get excited. Every single time you guys help someone start this business, you start to celebrate. And now all of a sudden, the ripple effect that you have in the world, the energy that you're putting out there, the photons that you're lighting up the world with are good. And you will start to get more good. Don't be surprised. When we put out whatever energy we put out there is exactly what is going to manifest or show up in our lives. And that is a scientific fact. That's a scientific fact. So, just as much as we celebrate the bad, because ultimately that is what we are doing when we are saying, of course, of course, of course, we can also celebrate the good. Of course I'm enrolling. Of course, God. Of course my reel killed it. Like, of course I just had an amazing coaching call with Jade. Damn, that was good. You get to choose your of courses. Period. Life is too short. And I'm going to tell you guys, you push this off, next thing you know, it's going to be May. It's February right now. It's not even January. If you push this off, next thing you know, it'll be 5 months from now. And you'll be looking back. And then the next reason why you'll say you can't do it is because you should have done it a long time ago and you didn't do it a long time ago. So now you're behind and now you're just looking for another reason why you can't instead of looking for every reason why you can. I can't give you a crystal ball. I can't show you what magic is going to happen in your business over the next year. But what I can tell you is that I am physical proof that magic is possible, that I have never known what is going to happen next. But I've always had a plan and I've had a belief and I've always had emotion behind the things that I want to do and why I want it. That I know that my energy is powerful, that it doesn't just affect me, it affects everyone else around me. And you guys have that too. Okay? I love you guys. What I want you to do is, again, today, I want you to pick what is going to be your jam. You get bonus points if you listen to sleep meditations, because sleep sleep meditations are incredible. You can actually reprogram your subconscious mind when you're sleeping. But anyways, who are you listening to? Let's get our affirmations set up today. Pick a partner. If you don't have a partner, I don't care. Don't even waste time trying to find a partner if you don't automatically have a partner. And let's start working on cutting off our reactions to the things that we normally react to every single day in every single way. And let's stop reacting to them. Okay? I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have such an incredible day. We'll talk to you guys later.